from a cultural perspective, we are taught to jump in and learn as fast as possible, get shit done without even complaining.
Yeah.
So having that background, it's ingrained in your brain to think and feel that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it did take me some time to change, and because I was the same thing, even though yes, my parents weren't as harsh as yours, or the way they ingrained things wasn't like that, but the culture was definitely the same in the fact that when it came to work, you got to give it your fullest.
It was the upbringing, partially how they kept pushing me and saying that I can do better, or like they don't really celebrate my small achievement, but it was all more my personality. Is that what I've noticed is I will actually push myself to the hardest that I can when I know that I'm in like a detrimental situation. So what I mean by this is like I've just lived off the life and mindset that I need to tell myself that I'm not doing good enough to be able to keep pushing. And I feel like if I laze back in my mind to be like, yes, this is an achievement and acknowledge that, I feel like I'm scared I will get lazy and not want to push further. I don't know if that will actually be the case. It's just that I'm worried that I might
I think it's because
change that.
It's outside your normal standard comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's not that, I don't think of it, like you should probably consider it not as a positive or a negative thing, because if it's a small task or an achievement, that should be something to be acknowledged or acknowledge of. But don't let that stop motivating you to push further down the track. And that's considered a pro too. It's a good thing because it's forcing you to strive and push yourself to do better.
Yeah. It's a good and a bad thing. Like, it means that I can work under pressure, and I definitely can perform under pressure. But at the same time, you shouldn't always put your mind through that kind of pressure as well. Like, you should still push yourself to the fullest, even without someone being like, oh, your work is so shit, I can't have you here, kind of thing.
Yeah. And exactly right. Like it goes both ways, right? It's a negative thing because emotionally you're going to get affected.
Yeah,
your confidence is going to be affected.
Yeah, and if you don't celebrate even just the small wins, being like, oh, this week or this month that I've been here, I'm saying as like a new designer, they came in, they didn't know how to do anything, and they didn't know how to design a homepage. But now 3 months later, you can design a homepage under an hour. That's an achievement. And then you have to celebrate that. Not celebrate as in like, I need to go treat myself to a dinner out or something like that. It's just acknowledging that this is how far you've come. And then in another 6 months, you can design a homepage in 30 minutes. Like, it's just celebrating the small little steps as you progress and acknowledging that as a achievement. Yeah. So I think it's good to have that, because over time, if you don't do that, it can take a toll on your emotional well-being too.
Yeah, because you not celebrating that is basically on the back of your mind, you're feeling like you're not actually progressing.
Yeah, that, and you're also putting negative words in your head, and you're just always saying that you're not good enough and you need to do more.
I like to think of it like a game. You have small objectives. You have your primary, like, main mission, and
like
then you've
your
got
little
side
Mario
objectives.
stages.
Yeah, and it's like, in order for you to finish a game, you have to hit each milestone, whether it's small, big, medium, large, whatever it is, and it's progression. You know what I mean? And it's motivation to progress. And you have to have those milestones or even small things to go, yeah, I've ticked that box, nice, now to the next one.
Well, actually, yeah, that actually brings a good point. So if you think of it as a game point of view, and you have your little stages, and as you progress through the stages, when you complete a stage, you're happy about it. You're like, yeah, I completed that stage, now I can go to the next one, and now you're tackling the next challenge. But as a person, I don't know why in my mind I don't do that, and I think a lot of people are the same. So when you progress through that stage, you don't celebrate it. You're like, okay, what's the next one? Or I need to get here. So you're very focused on where you want to get to or how big you want to get to, but you don't celebrate the small in between wins. And it's important to do that.
Apart from celebrating, it's just not acknowledging it. Hey,
like the fact that you've finished something and you've done something, I don't see it as an achievement, because again, it's just a job, it's just a task.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that you just need to look outside of that, because as from a cultural perspective and upbringing, we're so ingrained in the fact that a job is a job and you have to give it 150% regardless of what the bullshit and politics is in there. But it's about understanding that, yes, it is a job, but this is your life. You are in there 9 to 5, 8 to 5. You're working 5 days fucking every week. This is more than just a job. You have to enjoy it. Now that you've realized the things that you're doing that others are telling you that is an achievement, now that you've acknowledged that and you've gone, shit, I didn't realize those things can be considered as a small goal or even an achievement. Does that make you feel any different?
I don't know. The only thing that made me feel different is, I don't know what it was, but it made me feel really emotional. I don't know if
in a good way or
no, like I said at the start, I actually teared up, and even now I feel like tearing up, and it's like, maybe it's because I've never had someone, and it's not never, but it's such a rare occasion where people would be like, you've done a good job. And because I hear that and to see that, it's like, I don't know what to do with that emotion apart from crying, because you don't hear that.
Yeah.
So I actually feel like tearing up.